All right, wind this puppy up. We are going live. It is live. All right. Time to do the little pre-stream stuff and get this show tweaking. You want to say hi? Feel free to leave me some comments while I go through everything here. Now, that doesn't look right. Oh, I know why it doesn't look right. Okay, that's... Stop. Stop. No, I said stop. Yes, stop. Thank you. Bloody recorder. Got to push another button to actually do a recording. There we go. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. We are looking pretty good. It is time for the little bit of pre-stream music while I dial in the pegs and dials.
Story, don't even have my own. In the search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Crossroads, sitting doing time. Chucky and the jigger just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger, guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, is he yours or is he mine?
Definitely mine. Alrighty, we're just about ready to take this show live for the day. All right, clear things out. Looks like we're winding right up. And everything else looks good. All the dial and pegs are working well. And it is time. Send out the bat signal. Retweet if you catch it. Okay. Off we go. One more item and we is good. Okay, let's go. It is time to go live. So let's wind this puppy up and have ourselves a grand old time. Puppy love and love. It's episode 447, and I've got plugins for sharing the love, easy files, lazy times, and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the Brewery Overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall. And according to the Mueller Report, you are listening to WP Plugins A to Z.com, the best ClassicPress WordPress podcast in the universe. A big thank you out to the No Agenda Show for their contribution of ideas and the occasional sound clip.
Squirrel!
This is a value for value show, and I look forward to everyone providing some value back. So, of course, right off the top, we got a little bit for you. Briefly, last week, there was a little bit of confusion for a couple of folks. The show was late. The live show was late. The show that people download in their stream, well, they get it when they get it. But I had a late show last week due to having to go out and see an eye specialist, and the show will continue to be at noon, PST, every week unless something else comes up. When things get beyond my control, I have to alter it a little bit, and I don't really have a big way to give people warning. So just going to be aware, pay attention to when the show is posted. It does tell you when it's due to go live. This is episode 447, and love is in the air with Valentine's version of WP Plugins A to Z, with the feelings of love and spring starting to show itself in the air, and I am still looking for more participation from you, the producers of this show. I need more help from you this year, as the sword of Damocles is still hanging over the show. Keep the feedback coming, keep putting information out there for me. The more, the better. This is episode 7 of 52 episodes for 2020. I am looking for, this is a little note to everyone out there, I am looking for guest hosts to start appearing on the show starting in March. If you'd like to be a guest host and join me, please reach out to me at john@wppro.ca. What I'm looking for is someone who can make the time to appear at noon PST time on a Thursday, and bring with you 2-3 plugins of your favorite nature that we can include in the show notes, and we can have a tete-a-tete back and forth about the ones I bring, the ones you bring, and just have a good discussion. So if you're interested in just appearing as a guest host, just let me know. I am looking for them. And I'm hoping to see that come from you, the producers out there. We'll make this show a little more interactive than it's been for the last year and a half. Okay, with all of that, it is time to cover up some WordPress news out there. First up, what have I got for you? I've got something here from converting classic content on your website to the Gutenberg blocks. Now, if you've decided to go down the Gutenberg road and go full tilt into it, eventually you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to convert your content from the classic editor into Gutenberg blocks. And if you've got a lot of content on your site, say 10s, 20s, hundreds, thousands of posts, converting those could take you hours, days, weeks, and even months. This is a good article discussing what you need to do. This is a plugin that was brought out so that you can convert all that content in bulk from the classic editor into the Gutenberg editor and turn it into Gutenberg blocks. Really good article. Go check it out. It's something that you'll want to check out if you've committed to becoming Gutenberg fully. DDoS attacks. This is something that happens to just about everyone on occasion, and it's something you should know a little bit about. This is a great article from Elegant Themes, and it talks about the difference in DDoS attacks versus hack attacks or brute force attacks, and the things you can do to help protect your site against DDoS attacks. And ultimately, they happen, and what you really need is you need a good quality host that will defray those DDoS attacks and turn that traffic away before it gets to you, or you need a firewall, or you need Cloudflare or something else to help turn the DDoS attacks away from you. Another one here. An Awesome Motive acquires the all-in-one SEO pack plugin. Now, I haven't used all-in-one SEO for several years. I've pretty much removed it from everything I've ever used. Anytime I run into it, I generally remove it. It's still a pretty basic, pretty decent SEO plugin for the most part, but it looks like they've sold out to Awesome Motive, another company. And if you want to find out a little bit more about that, follow the links in the show notes for it. Now, this next article from Delicious Brains is a really interesting article, and it talks a bit about why raising the WordPress maximum or minimum, the WordPress minimum PHP version, does not turn WordPress into a modern PHP project. And they've got some really good arguments about this. And one of the things that's happening right now out there in the developing world, of course, we're at PHP 7.4, and they've dropped support for everything beyond 7.2. I believe, maybe in 7.3 has expired. So what's going to happen is as that PHP moves forward and the older PHP gets aged out, no longer supported, more and more CMS systems need to support only the latest or greatest of PHP to maintain their security and make use of the latest inventions that are brought along with the PHP. But WordPress, of course, maintains itself back to 5.6 right now, and that impacts its ability to use some of the more advanced features of PHP. This is a really good article. More depths and detail in it. Go read this article and go check it out. Now, this is something that's near and dear to me because I am a freelancer for the most part. I've been self-employed for 20 plus years. And one of the things that'll happen if you decide to go the self-employed route, sooner or later, you're going to deal with clients that you want to fire. And it's not an easy task to do. It's really kind of harder than you think it is to actually fire a client. And this is a really great article from Elegant Themes that gives you 5 scripts you can use, tailor them to your own needs and your own words, but it gives you lots of ways that you can go about firing those clients that you need to separate from. You know, the time suck ones, the ones you took on back when you were brand new at this and you undercharged them because you needed the money and you found out that the amount they paid you wasn't worth the effort, et cetera, et cetera. So this is something you'll want to check into. It's a really great article. Go download this article and save those scripts somewhere for when you need them, because you will eventually need them. We got a little bit of security news here for you. This one here is relatively recent. 100,000 plus WordPress sites are vulnerable due to the Events Manager plugin. Now, this is an Events Manager plugin that I've never used, and so I don't have a worry about it. But if you have used the Events Manager plugin and you haven't updated it to the latest version, you need to do that ASAP. There's a major flaw in here. It has a vulnerability attack, a remote vulnerability attack that people can inject code into your site and take over your site and create other kinds of havoc. Go read this article, but first, if you've got the Events Manager, make sure you've upgraded to the latest version of it. Okay, we've got a little something about the Wuhan virus.
Everybody was kung flu fighting, and all in Wuhan dying, and it was a little bit frightening.
All right. So what we've got going on here, of course, is everyone's worried about the coronavirus, or as it's now known, the COVID-19 virus, COVID-19, or as lots of people like to call it, the Wuhan virus or the Wuhan flu. So take your pick. Any of those will just work fine. But what's happened is WordCamp Asia 2020 has been canceled over the concerns from this virus. And it's a really good article. Talks about what they've done and what they're doing. Another article I've got linked in the show notes here for you is if you had made plans to go to the Asia 2020 WordCamp, they've got all the information here about how you can get refunds on tickets and some ways to go about getting your travel refunds if you've bought tickets to the event, travel tickets to the event. So it's a really good read. And for those of you that may have been planning to go to this event, make sure you go check out these articles in there. Okay, this show here is supported by you, the producers, as a value for value model, meaning if you're getting any value out of it, give some value back. You can do that by helping out and donating money to help the show. Can always use money, you know, just send your cash.
We just need cash. I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.
Just send me cash. Cash is always good. If you can't send cash, you know, submit artwork via the Arts Generator, the WP Plugins Art Generator. You can also submit articles, news, and information through the contact form on the site. You can submit plugin suggestions for reviews through the contact form. They don't even have to be your plugins. They can be anyone's plugins, your favorite plugin you think other people should know about. Submit it to me. You'll get credit for the submission, and I will get another plugin to review that I don't have to search for. You can also create monthly donations over at Patreon or anything else I may not have thought of. And in that vein there, I like to acknowledge the producers who have supported the show over the past week. This week, the show art comes from Angel Lemieux of Koa Digital, and he has kindly supplied us with, you get the sneak peek of it if you're watching on the website, of the artwork for this week. He's such a cute puppy. Goes really well with Valentine's Day. I may have to use the sad puppy in the newsletter. That's what it is, in the newsletter. So as we're begging for donations, you know, maybe the sad puppy will help. So anyway, thanks a lot again to Angel Lemieux of Koa Digital. Really great piece of art. He's supplied me with a whole bunch of art. It'll keep me going for at least a month or so. And if you're interested, submit your art. Get it here on the show. I look forward to the day I'm actually have a contest to see who submits the better artwork. This week I'd like to thank all the producers who came in under $50 and those who have set up weekly subscriptions. They remain anonymous, and I thank you very much. Anyone who comes in over $50 or more gets their note read out on the show, and any links contained in that note go into the show notes. So something you might want to think about. Get a little free, or not free advertising, but get some advertising for a measly $50. Okay. That covers all of that. It is time to dive into the major meat and potatoes of the show. Okay, so what do we have this week for you? I have ClassicPress options. ClassicPress, a fast-growing fork of WordPress, of course, that has been coming into its own. It hasn't been as busy in ClassicPress world the last couple of weeks as I'd hoped. It's been kind of quiet in the news front. There's been no real news this week. It seems to be just a bit of a general lull, but I expect it'll pick back up again. It always does. Every time it slows down, it picks back up. But I do have for you a ClassicPress specific plugin. This one here is called Insult Generator, and it's from Azure Curve, and it's really quite a nice plugin for the most part. It's a great little plugin. You can have some fun with it on your site, and it is, to me, lacking a couple of things, because what the plugin does for you is with a couple of short codes, it allows you to create a button to generate modern insults or medieval insults. And then with another short code where it's going to display that insult on your web page for you. So you use those to set it up. The thing I found with it while setting it up is the instructions could have been a bit more clear in the usage of it. Many users out there don't always know the complete formatting for short codes. Maybe in the notes you could include the brackets that are there for creating short codes, so that those that are new to it or just figuring things out won't have to try and remember what they're doing. You could also, the README doc should also contain some of the necessary formatting for the usage of the plugin. It could also use an easy place to get in and do some editing of the insults. Maybe add your own specialized insults in your own flair and format. So other than that, it's a pretty decent little plugin. It's just a little fun thing that you can add to your website to have a little fun with. Once you get it installed, it works quite well and does add a bit of fun to your website. So go check it out. It's the insult generator from Azure Curve, and I give it a 3 dragon rating. And a little bit other bits and pieces for ClassicPress for you. Up-to-date ClassicPress news. Check out the ClassicPress Club at classicpress.club. I'm not used to all those extended domains. There's the must-have plugin list. And, of course, to find a listing of ClassicPress-specific plugins, go check out the forums where there is a listing that is maintained there by Code Potent. And it looks like they came up a little bit. Now they're up to 50 plugins on that list. So woohoo, it's growing. It's getting much better. I mean, the first time I started this thing, it only had 37. So it's growing up little by little. So keep checking this thing out on a regular basis. The hard part is that when a new one appears, because they seem to be alphabetized, you're not sure where the next new one is. So you have to read them or figure out what's going on with them. I need to put them in a spreadsheet so I can monitor them as they come up so I don't get lost figuring out which one's the new one. All right, so that's pretty much all I've got for you in ClassicPress this week. So what have I got for you for WordPress? Well, I've got several plugins for you for WordPress this week, and a couple of them are just for fun. And of course, being Valentine's Day tomorrow, maybe you want to have a little fun with your website and add hearts and music notes to your website. Well, I've got a couple of plugins that allow you to do that. Now, these are older plugins, haven't been updated in several years. One of them is the Valentine's Day Hearts, and the other one is the Valentine's Day Floating Hearts and Music Notes. Oops, the hearts is the music notes and the floating hearts is the hearts. Sorry. They're confusing. I understand. They do pretty much the same thing. They do both work. They actually work in ClassicPress too, which is kind of cool. They haven't been updated in a while, so who knows how good the code is in them or how much longer they will last. But if you want to just have one day where you have some fun and have hearts floating down your page, raining down like snow, go check these plugins out. They're really simple to install. Just activate them, and boom, they start floating hearts and music notes down your website for you. It does get a bit messy and it's kind of irritating at times, but you might not keep them there very long, but go check it out. Anyway, that's Valentine's Day and the Valentine's Day Hearts plugins. For both these plugins, I give them a 3 dragon rating. Go check them out. Okay, next up, I have for you the File Manager plugin. Now, this is the first of several File Manager plugins I am going to be looking at over the next week or two, as I have been contracted for a new project to set up a site to allow my client to be able to upload a single file, a video, or a batch of files that need to be run together inside a subfolder, and they needed an easy way to upload them aside from FTP. I mean, FTP is a great way to do it, but not everybody understands or uses FTP very well. But they also needed, there's always one main file in this that is the run file, and they wanted to have an easy way to share out the link for that one main file via an email. And that's what I'm looking for. And so I'm investigating several of these File Manager plugins, the ones that I've seen and maybe reviewed in the past and kind of warned you against. Yeah, then you got to be aware of what you're doing here and how you set them up. And I've discovered by digging into these plugins is that a couple of them have setups in them that you can go in and limit who can access those plugins, permission levels, usernames, etc. Many different ways to control the access to them. Some of them you can even control specifically what directory they can access. So these are what I'm looking at, and I'm bringing them to you. The first one here I've checked out is File Manager, and this one here seems to work very well. The free version has very limited usage. They do have a pro version, and virtually all of them have a pro version. But from the free version, I'm able to get some of the basic functionality that I'm chasing here. The ability to upload a bunch of files in bulk by just grabbing them and dropping them, and boom, they're uploaded. And then finding that main file, right-clicking on it, and click Share As, and it pops up an email. Automatically puts the link in the email, and just have to write the email around the link, and away you go. Really great for that. It fits most of the bill so far on what I'm going to need. From what I've examined through their pro version, it might have what I need. So right now, this one's running first place. But of course, because this is the free version I'm checking out for you, I'm only giving it a 4-dragon rating. So go check this one out if you're looking for a file manager plugin for your website. File manager, 4-dragon rating. Go check it out. Next up, I have for you something to use if you're an Elementor user. If you're using the Elementor plugin for creating your websites, this is something you may want to look at. It's a simple plugin, lazy load Elementor background images. Now, if you're not using Elementor, you might not know what I'm talking about, but you'll still have a vague notion of what I'm talking about here. In Elementor, when you're building it out, you can put background images in multiple places on your layouts. You can put them in columns and sections and blocks, and put in individual background images. And I've built out a couple of websites like that using background images in multiple places on the page. Well, what this plugin does for you is it slows down the loading of those images, therefore increasing the speed that your web page loads initially. So it only loads the images for the backgrounds as people scroll down the page and get to them. This is a great way to improve the speed of your website by just adding a simple plugin. It just adds a simple JavaScript to the site that helps deal with that issue of loading images. So go check it out. Lazy Load Elementor background images, and I give it a 4-dragon rating. Okay, this show currently brought to you by...
Save time and money managing multiple WordPress websites. If you have several WordPress websites to manage, either for your clients or yourself, then you know how much time it can take managing them all. Time that is spent on mundane administrative tasks, and then losing that time for your important business tasks. CMS Commander is an online service that solves this problem and makes managing multiple WordPress websites fast and easy, as simple as controlling a single site. By placing all your websites in one powerful dashboard, CMS Commander makes it possible to update, backup, and manage them all at the same time in one place. Features of CMS Commander include one-click updates of plugins, themes, and WordPress core for all sites, automatic scheduled website backups, website cloning and restoration, uptime monitoring and analytics integration, bulk posting and automatic content. Sign up now for your 14-day trial at cmscommander.com and access all the features that will allow you to manage more websites and save time.
Absolutely. Check out CMS Commander, a really great plugin. I would appreciate if you use the links in the show notes to sign up for it. After all, it is an affiliate program. They're not actually paying me money directly. I get it through affiliate sales. All right. And listener feedback this week. Well, it was a quiet week. I don't have any feedback for you this week from you, the listeners out there, the producers of the show. Please send me some feedback, man. All good, bad, indifferent. I take it all. I'm more than happy to share what you have to share with the world. And of course, the contest this week, the contest is still in production because I get sidetracked easily. You know, it's just... Squirrel! And another. And another. There we go. Yeah, just squirrels everywhere, man. It's like I get sidetracked and I lose track of the things I got to get done. What I need is a staff. I need a staff of about 10 people to manage me, and then I do really, really well. So anyway, there's no contest this week, but with a little luck, I will have the contest up for next week. And for all you developers who want to support the show, send me an email. direct email to John at wppro.ca and tell me you want to share, you want to support a contest. Hey, it's free advertising for you, pretty much. Okay, well, that pretty much wraps up everything I've got for this week. I covered up in this episode the Valentine's Day plugin, which I gave a 3 to, the Valentine's Day Hearts plugin, which I gave a 3 to, the File Manager plugin, which I gave a 4 to, the Lazy Load Elementor background images, which I gave a 4 to, and the Insult Generator, which I gave a 3 to. Okay, and a couple of quick reminders. The WordPress meetup in Victoria will be February 25th, 2020 in Victoria, and it will be about assessing your website host. And you get to learn how to assess your website host. Find out if your hosting company is filling all of your needs. Learn how to compare hosting companies. Learn about their packages. Decide what services they're offering. Do you need that? Do you need something better? What do you need? How do you know how much space you need, etc.? It will be broadcast live on the YouTube channel with everything else. For location information, go check out wppluginsa2z.com/meetup. And if you want to be on an interview show, simply connect with me at wppluginsa2z.com/interview. And if you want to find out more about me, follow my journey over at theroguestavern.com. Check out my adventures into the wild, searching for gold, hiking, camping, out on the gun range, and more. That's pretty much all I've got, so I'm going to let my girl take us on out of here. And then I've got a little treat for you after the credits, so hang around after those.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
And here we go, a little treat courtesy of the No Agenda Show.
Just buy the face masks off the shelf. I bought 10 boxes of them for myself. Didn't help me much and now I'm totally screwed. Oh no, I got the Wuhan flu. I got myself a case of Wuhan flu. I don't know what I am supposed to do. Didn't know I had it when I gave it to you. Now we all got the Wuhan flu.
Alrighty, there we go. A little treat for everyone. Okay, what do we got next? That pretty much wraps it all up. So take care now. Bye-bye. And if anyone wants to chat, I'll give it the 30-second usual. See if anyone has anything to say. It's hanging in on the viewership.
Let's get social with social media. Let's get social with social media.
Alrighty, well, that wraps it up for today, folks. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day. Take care now. Bye.